Hewitt round his body. 12-tree and Fisher. Stewart. Gee, there's some new boys in this Norwood side. Good tackle by Carey. Raking through was Noble. Still Noble.
That was a beautiful bit of play, Bruce, wasn't it? That pick up by the big fellow.
Menzel only as far as Hewitt. McGuinness tried to take it on the half volley, didn't, and there's going to be a ball in centre wing. Slow start to the game. Tony McGuinness, youngest ever Magarey medalist in the history of South Australian football.
Peter Carey knew there that Jeff Ferry was going to come in from the side. He showed a bit of judgment slipping out of the road. Handball given to Maynard by McDermott, high in the air. Fisher comes in from behind. Menzel inaccurately to Ace, but he does it very, very well indeed as he gets it to Scanlon. Scanlon over half forward. Roberts in front. McFarlane just knocking away. Vardaniga can't take possession. Michael Annie takes it off Roberts. Player in the square on his own won't be required, I don't think. But he's got it. It's Michael Aish. And what a beautifully put away goal too. No fancy stuff.
From the back pocket. Centre wing. Duthie in the front spot. Wayne Stringer got a bad bounce.
3 Glenelg players flew for that, Bruce, and that's why there's all the Norwood players on the ground.
Stewart to Button. To Michael Annie. Juggled it twice and has been paid it.
Well, what a wonderful player Michael Annie is, Bruce. That's a fantastic mark. The ball skidding over his head. No panic. When it hit his hand, he just caressed it in the air there and just held it in his area. Received it on the second blow. Very well judged mark.
Usually a good kick for goal, Jim Michael Annie. Averages about 2 goals every time he plays. Missed that one. Button. Big Bear takes it in the pocket.
He's the person, in fact, who kicked the ball to Michael Annie and quickly moved in. Button's leg, Bruce, he'd be able to kick a back squeeze. Enough power to really make this ball twist, even though it is into the breeze. Ross Porra providing a decoy there for Rick Neagle. He was hiding behind him, wasn't he, Bruce? I don't know where he came from.
It's a good kick too, Neagle. That wind's a bit tricky, though, as we saw from Michael Annie's boot a moment ago. That looks good off the boot by Neagle. Is it coming back? I think it has. It's a goal. Very good kick by Neagle. So that's his first. Norwood are doing well, Robert. They're 2 goals. Glenelg 1-2.
Yeah. He probably played that outer side of the ground, which is probably the more defensive side. The ball will hug the boundary line all the way round. Glenelg player took off before acceptances. Taken off hands by Andrew Aish. Gives it to Michael Aish. He goes in short to centre half forward. Neil Button. Wonderful take of the ball in the fingers at full stretch. John Seabohm right on his tail. Kicks it out into the space for Andrew Aish to run on. Michael Aish is ahead of him again. He's been checked by Tony Hall, so he goes to the square. Michael Annie from the front. Vardaniga gets a bad bounce at the start, but traps it well as the ball sits for him, even though Farquhar was coming at him fast. And he kicks Norwood's 3rd goal. They're 3 goals, 18 points, leading Glenelg 1 goal to 8.
Young Glenn Vardaniga kicking his first goal in league football. He played for the first time on Tuesday night in the night match, and that might be his first kick, in fact, in league football in a day game. Ball coming in from Andrew Aish, and he did get a bad bounce, but he kept his head, kept cool, then through it went. Kernahan and Faring. Kernahan comfortably, missed by McIntosh and Michael Aish. 12-tree. Tony Hall. Scanlon. Faring. Almost a Fisher. McDermott. Falling over McIntosh. McDermott got it out to 12-tree. Hall. Got around Scanlon. Finally, Michael Aish to Scanlon. Now Norwood can run it.
It's a beautiful handball by Aish, though. Bruce didn't try and run with it, just saw the player on his own and gave it to him.
Menzel with a run of it. Hewitt interferes with him. Free kick to Menzel.
Correct. Yes, Norwood did that well out of the centre. Michael Aish, when he got that ball, instead of trying to break and then waiting until he got under pressure to give the handball, gave the handball immediately that he got it into his hands and moved it on to the next Norwood player and just gave him that extra moment to balance himself with the kick.
Gary Menzel from the pocket punches a low drop punt that's gone straight through. Norwood are kicking very well. They have all year. They're 4 goals without a miss. Glenelg 1-2. Neagle short in the centre. Aish goes long. Wynn holds it up a bit. Button in the front spot. Oh, Roberts has taken a great mark in the centre.
That's what you call judgment. Norwood from the half-back line through Renfrew to centre wing. Button in front. Kernahan from behind. Button takes the mark. He's a big man, Bruce. Very strong. If he gets front position, he's only got his height to contend with, but his width as well. Gary Menzel roving today for the Redlegs with Rick Neagle. Greg Turnbull still on the sidelines. Can't get over that injury. Kick to the pocket. Roberts. I think John McFarlane might have a little bit of trouble with Neville Roberts, because Neville Roberts has got that one thing that John might have a bit of trouble contending, and that is a beautiful mark and judgment. He's certainly much better in the air than a lot of people think.
McFarlane given the job of minding Roberts, who was named as a follower, but Salisbury's on the ball, McFarlane in the back pocket.
See, Bruce, he didn't aim that one as far to the right as he did the kick before, and that one really did bend with the breeze and through from behind, and Neville Roberts a little bit disappointed with himself then. So it's 4-2 to the Redlegs and 2-2 to Glenelg.
12-3 and McIntosh. Still McIntosh, with him Salisbury. They know each other pretty well by now. Nigel round his body. Button tries to get rid of Seabone. McFarlane hanging on, Button round his body to Vardaniga. Good take, lovely kick. Vardaniga, not such a good kick, but Roberts has got it.
He was all right though, Bruce. He got it onto him quickly. Just a little bit off balance he was. Hit the outside edge of his boot. What a beautiful kick by Button on that left foot. Good two-sided player he is.
So Roberts has got 2 points alongside of his name at the moment. That's something we don't often see. These are the goals that he usually kicks for practice. Missed again, Robert.
Gosh, he has. It's costing Norwood too, because they're not used to the champ missing.
Over Kevin Fisher. Long left-handed handball to Nigel. Andrew Aish. Oh, McIntosh might have gotten his row, but he made up for it. Oh, he copped a very high tackle by Salisbury and he just shrugged it off.
Not good though. Scott Salisbury mustn't get emotional.
High kick by McIntosh. Michael Annie in the front spot. Farquhar over the back. Menzel was hung on to there. Andrew Aish. Still with Andrew Aish. He's going to get a free kick, Robert.
Yes, he wouldn't take possession then, Andrew Aish. I'm sure when in the concept of the game, the player that's fiddling with the ball like that, like he went for it once and then left it alone and made out to go for it, lifted himself up half looking for a free kick, then did it again, and he had two players in front of him, but he could have just picked it up and handballed it to either of them, and in the end, since he didn't take possession clearly, he gets a free kick.
It's got it.
Yep.
So Andrew Aish has kicked the goal, and it's 5-3 to 4-8. Norwood a point in front now. Aish has had 6 kicks, and that's his first goal.
Yes, they're looking a bit dangerous up forward, or if they can get it there. They seem to be pretty smooth into that in that area, but most of the time they just can't seem to get it there often enough.
Robert, the surprising thing, they've kicked 5-3 and Roberts has kicked the 3 points.
Yes, very rare. So Jeff Ferring and Peter Carey to compete for this bounce down in the centre. It bounces towards Salisbury, but Carey, good movement, gets to the ball but can't get away. That's better Aish as he gives it to Menzel. He's created a real opportunity now. And Ferring booms one. It's floating and floating, and he's bowled a magnificent wrong-un as he runs it through for full points. And that's the sort of play that wins footy matches. 6-3 to the Redlegs, 4-8 to the Tigers.
First-year player Tony Hall. Kernahan and Warhurst again. Noble chips in to help. He's taken the mark. Malcolm Noble playing at centre half-back. Alan Stringer beating him at the moment. He gives it to Warhurst. Warhurst, strong handball. Now Schmaler won a good bounce. He made it for himself.
It's a free kick, Bruce, against him. He jumped in the air and put his hand right in his opponent's face.
Not paid. Andrew Aish. Menzel. McIntosh. She's strong because Marshall had him cold. Andrew Aish with a long handball to Stewart.
I think Andrew Aish realised that error he made a few moments ago. Bruce, he's done 2 beautiful handballs since making that mistake.
Stewart to Michael Aish. Michael Aish has kicked the goal. Great football by Norwood. So the Redlegs go to 7-3 to 4-8 and Michael Aish has kicked his first. Marshall. Schmal in the front spot. Very powerful. Hard to come over the back of him, though. Ray Huppatz did it one day.
He was going to play on across the ground then, and when he got there, he discovered that there was no one over there. Now Michael Aish keeping his feet. Well done, Aish. Handball on to Renfrey. Renfrey will go on with it. Beautiful take. He shrugs the oncoming player. Vardaniga. Dwayne Stewart is going to play at centre-half forward. Nigel, he'll evade. Gives it across to Michael Annie. He's in trouble. Beautiful tackle on him, though, by McFarlane. Came straight at him. Roberts on his own. And he's kicked to behind. So Neville Roberts doing something he doesn't do a lot of there, trying to layer that a bit, I think. Bruce normally to run right out to the front of the goal then and opened up the face. And he didn't bother. He had plenty of room. So he kicks a score, a minor one. Seems to look a bit taller to me today, Bruce. He's a fairly tall lad to half forward. Off hands, runners. Just taps it out. Simons, nice pick up. It's a stalemate. Between centre wing and half forward. Glenelg kicking to the southern end of the ground into a very slight breeze.
Stringer and Noble again not happy with one another. They seem frustrated at the moment. Fearing won it easily. Stewart got a bad bounce. Crashing his way through Wayne Stringer. McIntosh has got hold of him.
Did he get him high then? Very unlikely. He put his arm up. Certainly a very, very good bit of play, in my opinion.
Stringer to the centre. Kernahan's the one they want. Coming at the back, Fisher. Mark to Andrew Aish in the centre. So Kernahan and Button again. Kernahan gets into Button's back and he'll take the free kick. Button does most of the ruck work between forward pocket and centre wing. Centre half forward, flying Maynard. Did he touch it? No, he didn't. Roberts has marked. He thinks he did.
I'm sure he did actually, Bruce, but it's a pretty weak touch.
Neville Roberts having kick number 7. 4 points so far. Long way out. He's got the breeze at his back.
This one is liable to kick a short one. No, not this time. He's really trying.
He's missed it again. It's unbelievable. Roberts has had 5 shots for goal and he's kicked 5 points. I can't remember that happening since he's been at Norwood, at least. Of course, Roberts hasn't kicked a goal so far, which is making a difference. So Neagle to half forward.
He's a lovely kick, isn't he, Bruce?
Button, Roberts at the back. That's a very good mark. The Bays leading by 8 points. They've won 3 out of their last 4. Norwood have lost 3 out of their last 4. Replay of last year's grand final. Hellier from the back. Scanlon. McIntosh helps out. Scanlon caught, though, by Salisbury. Twelvetree's in some trouble. His Twelvetree copped a very hard hip and shoulder from McIntosh, and he's still in the hands of the trainer on the half-forward flank.
I don't know how McIntosh can keep going. He hits everybody. Everybody hits him. He goes to Wayne Stringer. Wayne Stringer's miscued slightly. But Hewitt gets it back to Maynard again, and he goes to centre wing. And a beautiful stretch by Malcolm Noble. That is a great mark, Bruce.
Had Menzel short in the centre, but he went to Michael Aish on the half-forward flank.
Aish takes possession, not falling now. Starting to run a bit. He might have got his legs back. Gives it to Andrew Aish. He goes into full forward. Michael Annie from the front. By gee, it's hard to stop a player coming from the front if he's prepared to put himself up onto your chest like Jim Michael Annie was then.
Michael Aish and Peter Maynard. Maynard falling over. McIntosh. He's got Stewart short, decides to go long. Farquhar and Faring.
The big fella's got some movement, hasn't he, Bruce?
He's got Button and centre half forward. Button's got Menzel. Button turns round. Misses. 7-13, 10-13. You Norwood can't buy a goal, Robert. They'd love one. 25 minutes gone. They've tried everything to kick one.
Carey getting back in defence for the ruck. He's closest to us. Not a good bounce. Favours Glenelg side. But Albie Menzel gets back there fast. And he gets a free kick for pushing the back. Takes the ball into full forward. Vardaniger, magnificent fly. Hewitt relieving for the Tigers to centre half back. Button coming in, plays on. Beautiful movement, Neil Button, to finish this off with a goal. Oh, what a great bit of play by the big fellow. Coming back from the back play, jumped over the top of David Marshall. Posted the 8th goal for Norwood, 8-13. Glenelg 11-14.
Things are working for Glenelg at the moment. Duthie.
Andrew Aish getting too close into that forward line, Bruce. He's just leaving a space back there for the opposition to run into.
McGuinness. Long handball, hoping for Twelvetree. Still with Twelvetree. Now Menzel.
What a beautiful bit of roving by Albie Menzel. He ran all the way up the ground then to cover a little hole in that half-back line. Creates another opportunity for Gary McIntosh to go into half-forward, and Neville Roberts finds John McFarlane under the ball. And he's marked it exactly the same distance from goal as he did in the second quarter. He had 2 shots from this distance, failed on both occasions. Maybe now fortunes will change. So Neville Roberts, 45 metres, comes in with a good strong run. And the kicks bent back the other way. Neville Roberts scores yet another behind. Counts up to 6 to me, Bruce.
Makes the goal. Stringer got rid of it in a hurry to Motlop. To Duthie. To Hall. Not a good handball. These are the mistakes that can cost you. Noble. Michael Annie. Button. Off one leg with a high one. Neagle's got a run at it. And he takes a very, very good mark. And he's capable of kicking this, Robert.
He never was going to miss that. The Glenelg lad who was behind Richard Neagle, decided that his teammate was going to fly from the front spot. But I think he underestimated the flight himself. The bloke from behind, the Glenelg player from the back. Now Neagle. Oh, that's a good time kick, that one, Bruce. Straight off the instep. 9-14 now the Redlegs. 11-15 Glenelg. In Motlop, beautiful handball to Duthie. Duthie covers the half-forward line, but Justin Scanlon safe in defence. Norwood holding up a bit. Just occasionally their centre line getting a little bit attacking, not holding ground. To centre wing. Spoiled away by Michael Annie. Stewart comes to Menzel. He's worked very hard. Wide to Aish. Aish back to Menzel. There was another handball on, but Menzel's kicked the goal instead. Someone wobbled the post. Did he do it deliberately? The umpire says no. David Marshall from half-back. Just ducking the kick a bit in towards the centre. Aish spoiling it away. Vardaniger in front. He's got a bit of the fumbles, Glenn Vardaniger. He's got to take the ball solidly. Hellier getting back on the ball. Well done. Played very well at centre half-back, Rohan Hellier, since half-time when he came on. And that's a beautiful kick to centre half-forward. Off hands. Aish too slow with the give. Finds Neagle, and that's the one that wins. Aish just steadies up, runs into the goal, and does it like a good player should, with control. So Michael Aish kicks his third goal. They're 10-15 to 12-15, 2 goals behind the Redlegs. I don't know whether it was him or the umpire. I would have thought it himself. High the half forward by Kernahan. Jim Michael Annie into the half-back line. He did this the other week down at Football Park, proceeded to kick 2 balls safely. I think he believed that Norwood were in front.
It's a lovely kick to Warhurst. Oh, strong mark. He had to go, Warhurst. That was an important mark. The Bays were in if they'd missed it.
Right on the boundary line. Into the pockets. Good safe kick. Carey from the side, and Warhurst marks it with one hand. That's a magnificent mark. Finally, it's Hewitt again. Stringer. And waiting back on the half-back line is McGuinness. Doesn't check. He's waiting as the receiver back across the centre of the ground. Not a bad move by the Glenelg side. Someone to kick to. Goes into half-forward. Carey's there contesting. He's working hard to keep it in that forward line. And he does. 2 goals, 1 still the difference. Glenelg well and truly home here, I'd say. Coach Campbell looking pretty pleased. Hit forward again. Jarvis under the ball. It's a bit of a scramble now. They're all getting a little bit tired. Motlop, he kicks it out of bounds on the full, but once again it'll be a difficult kick to kick back in. Not much room back in those pockets, and Glenelg will be able to bottle it in. Stephen Kernahan will get back on that half-forward line. There she blows. Glenelg stand-her-ups. Glenelg win 12-16, 88 to Norwood, 10-15, 75.